Jordan of Ohio, a member of the House Oversight Committee. And Congressman Jordan, let me start with this. Politically here, what did you get out of this hearing that you think advances the ball and tells you more about this investigation?
That wasn't the focus, Chuck. The focus was to get to some questions and concerns the American people have. Right now, a lot of Americans feel there are two systems.
Right.
One standard for we the people, another standard for the politically connected.
Do you believe that?
And Mr. Comey himself said he wanted to be here. Yes, I do, because think about this. Lois Lerner, the architect of targeting conservatives, she's getting her full pension, no implications for what she did when she targeted people for their First Amendment liberties. John Koskinen destroys 422 backups under subpoena, 2 subpoenas, and what's happened to him to date? Nothing. So the American people rightly think that when you 80% of Americans feel like this town is rigged against them, and the decision Tuesday and then this decision yesterday by the Attorney General, I think lends support to that concern Americans have. And so today's hearing was to try to address those concerns, and Mr. Comey himself said he welcomed being there and to be as transparent as possible and answer our questions and the Democrats' questions.
What could he say to you to make you say, you know what, there wasn't 2 systems at work here?
I think one of the things we're going to look at, and you brought this up in your opening remarks, is the fact that I do believe Secretary Clinton gave false testimony to us in the Benghazi committee last October. And you don't take my word for it. Take what Director Comey said. Miss Clinton said under oath that she had only 1 server. Director Comey said no, she had more than 1 server. She said under oath we returned all emails that were work-related. Director Comey in his investigation said you did not do that. She said that every single email was reviewed by her legal team. Mr. Comey said that was not the case. So there's 3 statements she made that are directly false, proven false by Director Comey's investigation.
You don't accept?
We think that's something that should be looked into.
No,
because no other American could get away with that.
Well, I guess that's what we keep going back and forth here. Is it possible she's being would you ever sit here and say she is being over-targeted? Because of who she is.
No,
would anybody else have had a second congressional hearing? For instance, what you guys did. What other person would have had, after the FBI director made the decision he made, you guys said, no, we're going to call another hearing. You could make a case. Who else would go under that?
Chuck, what other person gets to make false statements to Congress and not be investigated for that? What other person gets to set up an unauthorized email server that no one else had, keep her personal work-related Clinton Foundation information, and now we know classified information on that server, and then when she's caught, gets to have her legal team decide which ones they keep.
Well, let me ask you this, though.
And wait a minute, the ones they kept, they then deleted, and her legal team, her lawyers, scrubbed every device so that no forensic recovery could take place. Now, that sounds an awful lot to me like they were trying to hide something there. No one else gets away with that in this country. Why does she get away with it?
Well, now, you seem to shorthand, though, some of Comey's explanations. He seemed to explain away the differences. He accepted the Clinton legal team's version of searching all the emails, saying they did a search in separating them out. They didn't go one by one. He accepted that as one and the same. Why don't you? I'm just curious.
But because it's different than what she testified to, and he also said today that thousands of those emails were destroyed. Thousands of emails destroyed that we never do get to see. So remember what took place there. They set up their own system. They get caught. They then sort it on the front end, decide which ones we get, which ones they keep. And then the ones they keep, they say, just to be sure, we're going to delete all those. And they go to the even additional step of scrubbing the devices the lawyers had so that no forensic, this is not Jim Jordan's words, this is Director Comey's words, so no forensic recovery could take place. Now, you don't tell me that kind of a logical person, a regular American, could infer intent to do some harm there, intent to maybe hide some evidence there.
What do you believe she was hiding?
To think that, and then when you...
I mean, is there a point where there's too much innuendo? I mean, this is sort of like he seemed to, at what point do we get to the, everything is politically motivated here, right? What you're saying, what she did is politically motivated. What the Clinton campaign is saying is that you guys are politically motivated.
All I'm saying is, Chuck,
what does the public see?
Do innocent people wipe clean their devices? Do innocent people make sure they get to decide up front what they keep and then delete those that information? Do innocent people start off by saying, look, I'm going to set up this server, and Huma Abedin in her deposition said it was set up so that personal information could never get public, so that no one could see what we're doing, and she kept everything there. Do innocent people get to do that? I think it's a logical inference, and it's this principle of conscious of guilt. That seems to be in play here as well.
Why do you think you believe she's guilty and Director Comey believes she's innocent?
I didn't say she's guilty. I'm just saying a logical person can infer that. I'm saying lots of folks I get the privilege of representing back in Ohio now think there are two standards at work here. One for regular folks and one for the political connected. I mean, here's the Secretary of State, here's the former senator, former First Lady, nominee of a major party running for president. And oh, by the way, her husband just met with the Attorney General 5 days ago on a tarmac in Arizona. And then we get this decision. You don't think normal people are going to look at that and say, what's going on here?
I hear from those same people, and you're right. I mean, that is the issue we're dealing with here, is that the perception looks is what I think the public is seeing. And I guess the question is, at what point do you feel like you're satisfied that even if it looks bad, boy, the FBI did their job?
You know what? If Mr. Comey would have had and looked at those statements that she made that are now proven to be false, if he'd have looked, but he didn't look at that. So you have to look at that, because that would be what would happen to any other American who comes in front of Congress and makes false statements, false testimony to Congress.
Jim Jordan, I'm going to leave it there. Congressman of Ohio, appreciate you coming on, sir. I know it was a long, grueling day.